is happening, it just pretty much solidifies it, and that we're all hypocrites.
Speak for yourself, dummy. You just found out that PlayStation is third party, and guess what? You was out here capping. It's only Patapone. Everybody gets to play everyone's golf, man. Ain't nobody want to hear it, bruh. I mean, you was 2 weeks hibernating. Now you come back damage control and talk about how everybody's hypocrites. No, it's just you and the rest of you fanboys.
All hypocrites. At the end of the day, each of us will find value in what we want, and we will be willing to pay what we individually find as valuable.
Which is crazy because, to be honest with you, the only things that you guys don't value is your own personal life. Like, you know what, man? Bro, you like 50 years old, right? Because he knows he can't say nothing about the Switch 2 because he probably wanted the PS5 Pro. Let's not forget, you guys advocated for $10 upgrade games. Now Nintendo gamers are doing it. You PlayStation dudes should have led by example. And now Nintendo dudes doing the same exact thing. Let me tell you something. Nintendo and PlayStation fanboys are literally the same thing, bro. Except one's more hypocritical and the other one's more delusional.
I mean, right now, I think criticisms towards pricing on games, services, and all that stuff, it to me, it's going to fall on deaf ears for me. From this point on, I don't really care to hear about any of that stuff.
Well, when you got Game Pass Ultimate, you ain't got to worry about nothing.
With Nintendo pricing of their games, with some of them being $80,
Yeah.
and they are not trying to do any advancements in the overall gaming industry. They're not pushing new cutting edge technology.
Man, what are you talking about? Nintendo Switch 2 got DLSS, whatever the hell that is, and the PS5 don't even have it. That's why Street Fighter 6 is looking more impressive on that than it is on the PlayStation 5. But even then, it's not that crazy of a difference that would want to make somebody go buy a Switch 2 for. But all I'm saying that there is some new added additional technology with the platform. How you gonna sit there and downplay it, bruh? But when it was the PS5 Pro, we got the weight wasted, 32 tail flops, and all this other garbage that you people kept spewing.
They're not even adapting some of the basic stuff that we have, like trophies and achievements. They're not even doing that. We're not even sure how well they're going to do ray tracing, if they even bother having that. Apparently, it does have ray tracing cores.
It's a portable, bro. What do you expect, bro? What do you expect? It's a portable device, man. Like, I get it. You don't like Nintendo. That's perfectly fine. I don't like what Nintendo's doing either, but you advocated for a lot of the stuff that is going on with the Nintendo Switch. That's all I'm saying. Paying for upgrades to existing games. When Microsoft was giving you free updates, y'all were hating on Game Pass Ultimate, talking about it ain't no good value in gaming. I want to go out there and support these companies, and now y'all complaining about supporting them.
Who knows if that's even implemented? They're not just doing anything that's pushing gaming forward. That would like.
I mean, I got one thing. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. They actually have a portable, unlike PlayStation, that has the PlayStation Portal where you just stream your games. Bruh, you know what, man? Just admit it, man. You PlayStation ponies are salty. See, but the difference between y'all and Nintendo, they ain't gonna buy their Mario Kart. They ain't gonna buy their Pokemon. They ain't gonna actually support Nintendo for the reasons as to why you should pick up a Switch in the first place. Unlike PlayStation, we got Astro Bot, 1.5 million out of 70 million hardware sales. The PlayStation 5 brand ain't nothing but a joke now.
Justify from a production standpoint of charging a game for $80, but from a personal value, some people will be more than perfectly fine paying $80 for a Nintendo first party game because they love it, they enjoy it. The gameplay is everything, you know. The content.
I mean, you want to sit there and talk about how the PlayStation 5 is pushing this cutting technology. Yeah, let's also talk about the fact that you're still playing remasters and remake. Oh yeah, Days Gone remasters, clearly pushing the technology for PlayStation. Let's talk about Horizon, Mr. God of War cross-generation game, PS4 titles pushing the PS5 beyond its limits. Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
They'll find their own reasons to justify the $80 price. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. It is perfectly okay.
No, it's not. Now, mind you, people can do what they want with their money. But people have to understand that when you go out there and support these practices, you can't start complaining when it leads to $90, $100 games, $120 games, 100. There's no moderation here. And this is why people are complaining. Because, like I said, people can do what they want with their money. But what they're advocating is for anti-consumer practices. So when people say it's not impacting you, it's my money, that is a blatant lie. And I'm going to explain to you as to why it impacts the consumer. Because guess what? There might be a time where the guy's like, yeah, I would have paid 80, but I'm not trying to pay 150 for a Nintendo Switch 3 game. This is the behavior that y'all doing. Y'all would have blamed the companies, but y'all the ones single-handedly giving them your money. Like, y'all stupid. If you want any form of moderation, you have to either stand for something or stand for nothing. It is what it is.
If you are willing to pay $80 for a Nintendo game, that's you. It's your money. I'm not pocket watching. I'm not gonna go spend the rest of the gen, worrying about who buys $80 games for a Nintendo game. That's you. If you enjoy Nintendo games and you're willing to pay $80 for that game, then the game's worth $80. That's it. That's how I'm going to look at things from now on. If you enjoy the 5090,
yeah, just like you're spending $100 on an old Forza Horizon and Indiana Jones so you can play it 4 days early on your glorious play. I mean, just let's be honest, man. Gaming sucks, bro. The things that you talk about is boring. I had to go completely retro, bro. I'm sorry. The Xbox Series X is trash. The PS5 is trash. And more likely, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be trash. Okay? It is what it is, bro. The glory days of gaming is over, right? I will say I'm leaning more to the Switch too because the games do look more funner, obviously, but there's a lack of standards. You know what I'm saying? Mario Kart World should be priced at $70. It's on a 30. I can guarantee it's on a 32 gigabyte cartridge. The only game that should be costing 80 or 90 is Cyberpunk because they used a 64 gigabyte cartridge instead. There's no continuity. There's nothing that makes sense with Nintendo clearly besides them saying, we're just trying to milk y'all with more money. There's no justification as to why Mario Kart World is 80. None. Y'all know it. We know it ain't the budget. Is it the cartridge size of the game? We know that clearly ain't the case either. So explain as to why this game's $80. Donkey Kong's probably running on the same 32 gigabyte cartridge, and that's 70, which it should be. You see what I'm saying? They clearly added additional $10 because they know it's a people's beloved favorite game, and they know they're gonna just outright buy it. They're taking advantage of your impulsive behavior as a consumer.
and you're loving what the 5090 GPU does, then yes, it's worth the $2,500, $3,000 that you pay for, right? Because you paying for it. I'm not paying for it. It's not coming out of my bank account. So whatever comes out of your bank account, then yes, it's worth it. It's worth it for you, right?
Yeah, I'm going to spend $3,000 on some escargot, and I don't want nobody telling me in this community that it ain't worth it. Sir, it's just a snail. Listen, I'm going to enjoy putting salt on my $3,000 snail while y'all sitting there eating $20 Paradise pizzas from Domino's. Listen, y'all just hating because you can't afford a $3,000 snail. I don't care. See, bro, it's the standards. But hey, like I said, who's for me to complain? All I know is I'm not supporting this crap.
For me, no. Nintendo games are not $80. It's not worth it for me. Therefore, Nintendo's not going to get $80 from me. That's just how it is, right?
They weren't going to get it from you regardless.
I'll be honest. I'll be more apt to sign up for GameFly and just play the Nintendo games through the rental service. To be honest, at this point, that's just my take on it. That's just how I look at things, right? Paying $450 for the Switch. I'll be honest. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure. I mean, granted, it did do one thing that I expected it, or I didn't expect it to do. All I really was expecting was 1080p 60. So the fact that it's dabbling in 4K,
it's 1080p 120 on the screen,
and VRR and stuff like that, that's a bonus for me, right? But at 450, I don't know. You know, and that's if assuming it does come out at 450. You know, Nintendo pulled the pre-order to reassess the tariffs, produce to a huge change. They try to balance it out because they don't want to over flood the supply chain, right? But in this case, apparently Sony increased their manufacturing output just to add a surplus into the supply chain. In other words, they got PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, they printed out those GTA 6 machines just in time, guys, until GTA 6 comes out. That's all the reason why they're manufacturing so many now. They weren't doing them for you when y'all really wanted one. They're doing it because GTA 6 is possibly right around the corner, and that's what people are more likely going to be playing on the PlayStation 5.
In inventory before the tariff hikes. So there'll be a period, there might be a period where everything's going up except for PlayStation products, but that's only because they flooded the chain. But just like anything else, it'll eventually run out. And not just Nintendo. You like $3,000 GPUs, $4,000 GPUs? Then I love $4,000 GPUs. You like $200 controllers? I love $200 controllers.
Yeah, it's the lack of standards. And I'm telling you guys, like I said, I'm not trying to guilt trip nobody because I personally don't care. But if you guys keep advocating for this, you're gonna keep accepting mediocrity. These companies are gonna keep playing with y'all. What happened to the old days where we used to not say boycott, but we used to take a stance on something? Gamers don't do that. Even Nintendo, PlayStation, y'all don't do that no more. This is why gaming is the way it is. When y'all complain about Ubisoft being lazy because of y'all, that's why. Because y'all didn't put your foot down. You guys are only going to want to put your foot down when you start seeing Nintendo Switch 3 games at $200 and they all digital. That's when y'all going to start complaining, oh, no, I'm done with this. And then guess what? A person that got more money or a person that's still willing to spend $200 on it, well, guess what? You're out of the food chain and they just focus on the new suckers. That's all this gaming hobby's ever become. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video from Game Ghoul, But like I said, Smooth Skin, you're really looking bad in this video.